everyone, today I'd like to give you another guide, this time Death Knight, spec Unholy, and let's go straight up to the talents. Well, first of all I want to tell you that in this spec you do like burst damage, however you do a lot of damage and you do a lot of AoE damage, which is extremely nice. And with that we're moving on towards the talents. At level 56 we take boosting source. It's the best talent because it does most damage, it does AoE damage, it gives you like a good boost as well. Ebon Fever looks nice, however when you enter PvP zone, the ability, what is it, Outbreak and Virulent Plague, the damage falls down like 3 times and this ability becomes useless. However, you still will be using, what is it, Outbreak. Then we're moving on to Alve will serve, you just forget it, you don't need it, it's just not going to give you any damage boost or anything. No reason to sacrifice damage from boosting source over that talent. At level 57, we take Pestilent Pustules, because it will regenerate 1 rune, and unfortunately I found out that you do get rune starved in this spec. Taking this talent is extremely important. Epidemic you don't take, it costs another rune, as I said, you already getting a rune starved. Then again it works with Outbreak, and since you're not going to Ebon Fever because it's bad, it's just pointless to take in PvP. Blood rune weapon you also don't need because you will have enough festering wounds on your enemy with a Castigator talent. So leaves us with only Pestilent Pustules. At level 58 we take Castigator. Out of 3 talents I tried them all. This is the one that will prompt you to do the most damage. Unholy Frenzy you will only want to take if you decide that your weapon proc will heal you and give you strength. What is it? Rune of Fallen Crusader will proc more often, will give you strength, and will heal you up more often. But it's not the case, it's still bad in PvP, it doesn't proc that much more often to waste a whole talent on it. Especially sacrificing that little burst damage you have and AoE. Glowing Shadows would be good ability, however in PvP it drops down in damage significantly, so it's better to just keep your Scorch Strike. Because otherwise, I mean, as is, it's still questionable, is it good or no, but you would say that, you know, your racial, your mastery will bring it up, your damage a little bit and so on. But since damage in PvP zone drops so much, like so significantly, Glowing Shadows, they don't even, you know, even with your mastery, they don't do enough damage for you to consider this talent. Just keep Scorch Strike and you will be good. So it leaves really as the only choice Castigator. At level 60, we take Deliberate Infestation. First of all, it's AoE. Outbreak is an AoE. Sure, it costs a rune, it does damage, but now it also slows. Instead of spamming your Chains of Ice, you will be spamming Outbreak and doing on top of that the same amount of damage. I mean, you will be doing damage. Where in Chains of Ice it still costs a rune. Sure, it does slow slightly harder, but you know, 50% is more than enough for you, even for 3 seconds. So it's a win-win situation in PvP for deliberating infestation. Asphyxiate you don't take because that will be your only stun with such a long CD. You will not be able to rely on it, people will trinket it. So just forget it, there are other classes that will do the stun locks for you. Sludge Belcher, I mean, it could be okay, but you still have your, what is it, Dark Transformation, which does enough damage. Sure, Slash Belcher will do a little bit more damage, but you really need this slow, and damage from this slow is way better than Sludge Belcher. because it's also AoE. At level 75, Spell Eater is a nice one, and I prefer this one, because even though you're Dead Knight, I find it lacking to, like my survivability in Unholy to be slightly lacking. And Spell Eater helps out, especially versus casters, since, you know, it works with your anti-magic shell. Another good ability to take is Lingerant Apparition, just to get your CD on rate walk reduced, but I found it not so necessary considering you still be spamming Outbreak, slowing enemies down. There's rarely any use for, you know, extra speed there and that CD reduction. Corpus Shield you don't take, because you want your pet to be alive, and if you use it, most of the time it will get killed, and then it's on CD, it still bothers enemies, so it's still better to, you know, for your pet to just stay alive. So Spell Eater is a choice for me. At level 90, Necrosis is the only choice. Shadow Infusion is bad, because it only reduces the cooldown of your transformation, which is not so reliant, and it's only 1 minute CD, so it's still good. Infected Clothes you don't take, because you will have enough Festering Wounds with Castigator. There's absolutely no reason for this talent. Necrosis is the only talent that clearly enhances your damage. Only thing that you will need to work on your rotation with Dead Coil and Scorch Strike. It's the best ability. At level 100, I tried all 3 of them. All 3 of them are bad, but since you have to choose something, Dark Arbiter is best one. Simply, you know, when you need that little extra burst, a little extra damage from instead of your Gargoyle, you're taking Dark Arbiter, and it's pretty much doing the same thing. Problem is, Defile is an AoE, and no one stands in it. It costs a rune. The damage it does is nice, but people have to stand in it, and people don't stand in your stuff, so you have to run, usually chase enemies for damage, so the file will be not as useful. Soul Reaper looks to be nice, it looks to be doing damage, but then again, it's not so much significant damage. With ECD, it's just an extra ability for you to click, and sure, it has a chance, it gives you an option to actually increase your haste by 7% 3 times, which is also bad, because it only gives you 5 seconds to use your Scorch Strike to pop your Festering Wounds and get a benefit of that haste. So the synergy is bad, and you will have to be really playing around this talent, which will take away from your damage, so it's better just not to take it at all, and just play normally in comfy settings with a Scorch Strike without this talent, and use Dark Arbiter. At Honor talent, sure I don't have this, but I already know what they do, and I think the pick here, only thing that I will take is Necrotic Strike, but once we get there. So for first level, we take Adaptation, Relentless if you have a healer, pocket healer with you, and preferably in Arena. Gladiator's Medallion in Arena. Reinforced Armor, best talent on at Tier 2, because it gives you most survivability. The other 2, they don't block enough damage for you to consider them. At level 3, Cadaverous Pallors, just so you don't get insta-killed, it does help a little bit, and you can negate that damage with your anti-magic shell. Another good one could be Anti-Magic Zone, if you have good teams that can stand in it and use it wisely. Dark Simulacrum, forget it, it only bounces one ability, one magical effect, and there's no magical effects that you want to bounce just as a single damage ability. If it did for 3 seconds and bounces all abilities, that would be great, but for just one, there's nothing strong enough that you would like to bounce, except the Mage one, the Super Fire Blast, or what is it, Pyroblast, or that no Mage takes, and so it really kills the reason taking Dark Simulacrum. At level 4, we are taking Decomposition Aura. Hair Stop Aura is okay, but you really need that damage. The CD reduction is It's very narrow utility for this talent. You just don't want to take it. And Decomposition Aura wins over Necrotic Aura because it gives you solid damage, and people will be in your melee range quite often. You will be chasing them and taking away, 15% HP every 2 seconds. That's strong, so you take that. Necrotic Aura, sure, it increases your magical damage by 80, since your damage is mostly magical. You would think that it's a great idea, but you would really have to push yourself to make this talent work. Otherwise, I don't see you benefiting from this more than from Decomposition Aura. Going to tier 5. I would take Wandering Plague for that extra damage and some stability. That would be my talent of choice once I get it. So far, I'm taking Outbreak, which helps me with that damage, and you take it only if you don't have Wandering Plague. Otherwise, it's just not as good as Wandering Plague damage-wise. And Crypt Fever you simply don't take because it doesn't do enough damage for healers to actually... when healers heal someone, this damage is not so big to make any difference. It's better off to just have a good dot on an enemy to help out with additional pressure other than this. And there are compositions where people simply don't heal, so you will not be using this talent. At last tier, the clear winner, no contender, is Necrotic Strike. It wins because it negates healing, almost like Mortal Strike from Warriors, and it's the best choice. Right now I'm using Unholy Mutations simply because it's not unlocked, and it works okay with my Virulent Plague to do that a little extra damage. Reanimation is bad, people will be running away, or your Belchers will be dying, your zombies will be dying before they even reach the enemy to do the damage. So you can pretty much forget it. And it also costs a rune, meaning you will be wasting your runes. Thank you for watching my guide, hope you liked it, give me a thumbs up, have a great day.